Would you believe that the difference between failing the USMLEs and scoring in the 260s or higher could be as simple as changing how you use UWorld? It may sound too good to be true, but as a 99.9 percentile Step 1 score who matched at Harvard MGH, I've seen it happen time and again, including someone who failed Step 1 and in under 2 months scored a 262 on his NBME before passing his retake. Memorization may be enough to get by medical school exams, but it isn't enough to tackle USMLE style questions, including UWorld. UWorld and other QBanks are designed to test the application of concepts. And so to use these resources most effectively, you want to focus on practicing the application of knowledge rather than just memorizing facts. And so when approaching a question, try to identify the underlying concept and principle. So for example, let's say that you have a question about serum osmolarity and urine osmolarity in SIADH. Oftentimes what I see is that people will try to memorize, oh, okay, well, SIADH leads to high urine osmolarity and low serum osmolarity because of inappropriately high ADH levels. Instead, try to understand the mechanism behind it. So if you have inappropriately high ADH, you're going to absorb more free water, which is going to take that water out of the urine, which is going to make it more concentrated, giving it a higher osmolarity, and you're going to push it into the serum, which is going to make it more dilute and therefore decrease the osmolarity. If you understand this concept at a deeper level, it's going to make understanding everything else easier, as well as any other related questions, or if they modify the question in the future, like in cases of, say, diabetes insipidus, or in cases of, say, psychogenic polydipsia. And so by focusing on understanding the underlying concepts and their applications, you'll be better equipped to tackle USMLE style questions. This oftentimes happens when students are trying to cram and do lots and lots of questions in a short period of time, is that in order to save time and do more questions, they're going to just focus on the information that they missed in that particular question. The issue is that when the USMLEs are trying to test concepts, they can test one concept in many, many different ways. And so if you just memorized that one way that they've tested it in that one scenario, you're going to end up struggling when they change the ways that they ask it in other questions. This is, I think, the reason why a lot of students come out of their test and they say, oh my gosh, my test was nothing like UWorld, or my test was nothing like my NBMEs. It's oftentimes because A, they used a resource where they were kind of memorizing the answers to the NBME questions, so they went in with sort of an unfair advantage that they didn't have on the real test, or B, that the way that they studied their QBank questions was more focused on trying to remember the specifics for the questions they got wrong, rather than understand and apply the questions so that they can get any related questions correct. I'll leave a link in the description below for how it is that you can use first aid as a tool to guide your understanding, since first aid can act as a really effective filter, as a way to help guide you through understanding all of the related information that you need to know about a particular topic. So by focusing on understanding the underlying concept and their interconnections, you'll be better prepared to tackle novel questions on the actual exam. One of the most common questions on Reddit for people who've done well is, what did you use? How many pages or UWorld questions did you go through? Remember, the key isn't what you've got, it's how you use it.